Sydney's number one podcast, West Underground.
Hello and welcome to another episode of West Underground. Today we are joined by none other than the Black Cardinals. They're here, they're with us.
You can't hear that. That's a big clap.
That was phenomenal.
That was smooth. Welcome, fellas. Welcome in here.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
The main. Would you consider yourselves the main two in the band?
Nah.
No.
We
just
don't
say
do,
it now because the rest of them
thing.
will be watching, and then you can just be like, "Yeah, that is me."
No, we don't do that. We started this gig and said that there's no leaders and no lead guitarist. There's no lead shit. You are a five-way part of the band.
That's awesome. How long have you been together now?
COVID?
2019.
2019.
Yeah, it feels like you just came out of nowhere to.
Well, yeah, we were
Blow
going
it
somewhere
away.
and then fucking COVID hit.
Yeah.
And, we were about to do a tour with Godiva,
Oh yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
And then that got
Cadaver.
stopped. Whatever they're called.
Godiva is another one. It was Cadaver. It was meant to be like our first international opener at Frankie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that got stopped with COVID. So it was a nice head start and then it was crushed.
Yeah. How'd you feel coming out of the pandemic though? Like, how'd you feel years ago on?
We did our first show back at Frankie's and it was a sit-down show.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably one of the best shows we've ever done because we wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Just rearing to go out of the gate, you know.
Yeah. So no, you know what? Look, we've had a bit of a rocky couple of years. A lot of pluses and minuses. I guess we'll talk about that today. But yeah, we're doing all right.
Yeah, I think he's out as well, man. And he's a good band as well, you know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, shucks.
you know, quality shines through
Thank you.
quite
that's
often.
me. No, there's no leaders. Remember?
No leaders. I feel like you came up with that just for you. That's what he did.
Just for that.
Wow. When you guys started, I remember a couple of years ago, we'd only just started this at around the same time, and
It's the trajectory of the same time, isn't it?
we had Blake Kateris on the
Kateris,
podcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And I were talking to him about the band Flickertail at the time, and I think they'd just broken up, and I said to Blake, do you guys know Flickertail or anything about him? And they said, well, if you want Flickertail on, get the Black Cardinals on because half of them are in that band. Is that true or false?
I wouldn't say half.
Actually, there's a bit of history with me, Johnny, the other guitarist in the Black Cardinals.
Yeah.
So back in 2011, I used to play in a band with the old bassist of Flickertail at uni.
Yeah.
And we won the uni band comp, and then we needed a singer because at the time we won that competition with no vocalist. It was all instrumental.
Yeah.
And then Matt O'Callaghan got drunk one night, ran into Liam, the singer of Flickertail,
Liam Whelan.
joined us, and we wrote finished writing the rest of the 5 songs, started playing, and and then when the drummer had to go back to Japan, Liam just basically took Matt and started the Bitter Sweethearts, and then became Flickertail. And then and then that's when they replaced I think it was Coolin with Johnny.
Yeah.
So yeah, like almost half of it's a really incestuous circle where it's like half the members of half the members in Flickertail were just like in other bands before.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I suppose the scene's only so big though, isn't it? Like everyone's going to play with each other eventually.
It's a
playing
swingers
each other's
club.
bands.
That's something I don't agree with. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a clique.
In Sydney?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've coming from outside, coming into it, I'm like, oh, there's a bit. It's clickier than
Mate,
at home.
I was in a band prior to this called Cigars of the Pharaoh.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah, it was with one of your mates, actually.
Which one?
Figgy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyway, we won't talk about him. When I was in that band, I was very aware that there was a music clique in Sydney. And if you weren't in that clique, you didn't get shows.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to start another band just to prove that there's a clique, and I'm going to put people in the clique in this band. I went out and got Eric, and then we had Thomas Bateman, who was from Colts of Ice.
Yeah.
CJ with Colts of Ice. Johnny Flicktail. Next minute, the shows were coming left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And it was because we were in this clique.
Yeah.
And I was like, tick that box, and it was a dead set truth.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
it
Operation Repo, is it? What
Yeah.
they do in
100%.
America? Where
It's a
they
whole-
like,
it was just like
Yeah.
forming a whole unit from just nothing but veterans of the scene.
And my intentions were to tell these guys why I was doing it. We were starting this because we want to get in this clique.
Yeah.
And then I remember sending a message to Fox Company from when I was with Cigars of the Pharaoh, and it got completely ignored.
Oh, nice.
And then I sent them one after when I was in the Black Cardinals and said, "See, that's why there's a clique.
Yeah.
Because now you speak to me before you didn't.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, like I've noticed it so much. Like it is apparent. It is very apparent.
Oh, yeah.
Now because I do this now with Hamish, that lovely man over there, and a couple of others. Like you notice, I'm meeting people that I necessarily wouldn't meet because my band's not in that clique. You know what I mean? So it's like but it is. I don't know if it can be helped because people like their people, and you want to help your mates out all the time.
There's
you
a
know what I
massive
mean?
ego in this scene, and it's one band member generally, or one band has it, and people they attach to it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just shit. But
Bit of a cult of personality.
it's just crap. So we're all about trying to give people a go, and we sort of we're in this clique, but we don't use it now.
Yeah.
We got our name and we didn't worry about it, but. Like we had people come to shows that we did for like Uncaged Festival. Some kids, they were in this band called Paint Job, and they're nobodies, and they know that, and they're just trying to make their way through this scene, and no one will help them.
Yeah.
So we give them a show.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of start that we probably wanted when we were starting off, but it didn't happen.
I can't remember who we had this conversation with, but it's about like how in music, if it weren't done for you, a lot of people choose not to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though when you're waiting for and you want that opportunity and someone to help you out, when you get, I feel like if you don't get it, you're like, no, I definitely will help out.
Yeah.
Because I don't like this feeling of no.
It's also
Getting
it's
it,
like
you
it's
know?
giving back in a way, just to like it's giving back like the opportunities you weren't given.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's about spreading the positive energy and like trying to make the live music scene in Sydney a positive thing again instead of this whole backstabby kind of environment.
It's very bitter.
Yeah,
It's a very, very bitter, bitter sweethearts. It's a bitter scene, and, we've all come from different parts. Mine started in the 90s. I had the record deal, and I had all that in a different, complete scene, but I've gone from roll and reel to digital. I've gone from making money to no money, and it's been an interesting road.
But you've never been better, Cas.
You know what? 5 kids later and 2 marriages. And, I'm the happiest I've ever been.
It's funny because it's been the opposite. It's like years of making no money, and I got my first APRA check of like $2.
Keep that. Frame that.
100%.
Yeah, it's
Only-
interesting when you get your first APRA check.
Yeah.
They used to be a lot bigger.
It's when you get to the point. I had one for like £9 at home, and I used to earn £10 an hour, and that was like £9 for a year of music.
Yeah.
And I went, I'm not touching that. And being that broke once, I was like, I might have to cash that check.
Don't generally check them anymore.
No.
From the 90s, they were good back then. And the last one I did was I recorded a dance track for a guy named Teddy Black, and it got picked up by Sony in Ibiza. It made me thousands and thousands of dollars, but it was like one stupid track like that, and then you grind away at this, and you get fucking $3.
Yeah.
Versus the thousands I got for that. It
Honest
pisses you off.
$3. The most honest
Does
$3
shit
I've ever made.
You spent 30 grand trying to make $3.
Mate,
It would have been close.
Yeah.
it's the cleanest $3 you can find
Yeah.
in Bankstown.
Untaxed.
Untaxed.
Because it didn't get the threshold.
That's it.
Did they just send you the coins or?
Yeah. In a parcel.
No, when he took it out at FPOS, he had to pay $2.50 from the ATM. So he lost the whole lot.
It was all gone. It was all gone.
One of those red ATMs.
Oh, I think that's got to be the biggest sin that those ATMs.
Oh, scum, yeah, scum. So, like, sound-wise, you know, when you started playing together, because obviously, like, you've all played in different bands and been in the cliques and whatever, but did you kind of know, did you go into it with, like, right, this is who we want to sound like, or did it just end up being the way it is?
No, we had Eric and I put the band basically together, and the sound was to be very similar and or close to Rival Sons and Audio Slave, and
Yeah, nice.
probably the two biggest influences, especially Rival Sons.
I hear that actually. Now that you said,
And
I
a
get
little bit
that.
of Black Crows.
Little Black
as well.
Crows in there
Yeah.
as well. So we wanted to be a heavy blues band. You know, we didn't want to be just like a poppy blues. We're after that heavy rock sound, and that was the inclusion of putting Johnny in with the second guitar. That really gave that the heaviness. I've got a an R&B vocal voice, like a real soulful voice, so we could then play around like in that Black Crows type of area as well. So
It was also like in 2016, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had a whole
Oh,
bunch
wow,
of
man.
guitars back then. Like while I was going through chemo, you know, it was just really difficult. I thought that's it. I'm no longer playing guitar, so I sold all my guitars off. I just kept the 1335. But like after a while, because I have like the scars of like the rashes and all that, it was giving me nerve damage. So I just could not play guitar for a while. So I sold them. But then after I got out of chemo, I was working for 2 years. I was writing all this music, and then Cas just hits me up asking, "Hey, let's form a band." I'm like, "Great, I got all this material," and it just happened to be the right stuff. Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you in remission?
Yeah, I'm in remission. I'm clear. I'm out of remission.
Oh,
as
good
of
on you,
early
man.
This year.
Good on you. Good
Thank
on you,
you.
Eric. That's
Yeah.
that's crazy, man.
it's great news.
It is fantastic. And then you had all this material to go into, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Start
yeah.
your new band.
That's why the first 3 months it was just nothing but tracks after tracks, and then the hard work was just trying to figure out what songs we want to keep and what songs we just did not want to work on.
We had to put a set together real quick because the first show was
Headlining.
It was a headline.
That's right. Yeah, our
I
first show
spoke
was a
to Jordan
headline.
at Frankie's and I said, "No, we're ready." And he goes, "How ready?" He goes, "Ready 4 weeks." I'm like, "Okay." So we had to put 8 songs together really quick, and we stumbled around at the end trying to finish them. And there's 3 songs that we still sing today that don't have any lyrics. Still making them up on the spot.
I think I remember you told me that story. So we played a show together, like a acoustic show. Was it Mosh Pit?
Mosh
Yeah.
Pit.
And you told me that story afterwards. You were like, yeah, that, like a lot of the lyrics can be the same. And I did the same. I had the same verse that I'd use in 4 songs at home. And no one ever questioned or
No,
agreed
if
it.
you mumble it good enough.
It's about
yeah.
confidence, mate.
It just gets me.
Sometimes I always pick someone in the crowd and sing to them. Like, I don't even care who it is. If there's a guy in there, I'm just going to slang someone. So, yeah, it's about 4 songs. Oh, 3 songs. I still don't have any lyrics. The chorus is the same, but the rest of it's different every time.
Yeah, yeah, they get really road tested.
Mate.
That's what they get.
Yeah, there's some of the verses are just you'd be putting the beeper on it if we're in here. They're just very crude.
Have you nearly figured them out? Have you nearly mastered them yet?
Oh no, still haven't got any words for them.
No.
I don't know. I think now I'm just too far gone.
He wants
if I
backing
put words
vocals.
to them, I'd probably forget the words. So
Cas wants backing vocals. I'm like, just give us the words. I was like, yeah, okay. And that's been
Yeah.
like 2 years now, man. Still fucking waiting.
the backing vocals are the choruses are there though. The choruses are the same.
I think that's funny when you go into record. Like I used to be like, I'll just write like when I get there.
No, that's the difference. When we go to recording, they're ready.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and,
anything that's been recorded has lyrics.
and it'll just I'll just be ironing that out like 24 hours before. My missus got an English master's degree. Shout out, Abby. You're very good for this. And I'll be like, does this make sense?
Yeah.
She's like, yes.
I've got one of those too at wife.
Yeah, yeah.
And every time,
No, because he's what Cass is doing. He stepped me up. She's only my missus. He's like, I've got a wife.
That's the truth. Every time I write something, it's like, okay, well now it's live and now it's going to get recorded. And if it gets recorded, there's every chance that the lyrics are going to get published. So it doesn't make sense. She vets it.
Yeah. You need one of the. You need a proofreader.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Have to have a proofreader.
You have to. And her brother's got like a degree in linguistics, and so if I really wanted to proofread, I could go to him, but he'd probably pull it apart.
Yeah.
Nope. No good.
Yeah. It'd be like, there's nothing in here.
Makes 0 sense.
Now, what's the process for guitar?
What do you mean?
We just heard about the refined refinement program for lyrics. What about yourself? When you write out
So in my room, there's a guitar rack with like 6 guitars at the moment, and for me, it's always been like just the key word of playing guitar is the play, and if you're enjoying it, you eventually hit something that just sounds right to you that you just want to expand on, and most of that is what has become the guitar material for Black Cardinals. So a lot of the riffs are just, they're all very blues based, very, I wear my influences on my sleeves, like Electric Mary, the Black Crows and all that, and a little bit of Crowbot nowadays because I'm mucking around with octave pedals. And yeah, it's just like if something hits my ear the right way that I feel like it's got a groove, I quickly record it and I bring it to the to rehearsals, and we try to give a run through it, and I find that kind of like guitar writing most organic, because I think for Broken Man, I was sitting on that riff for like 3 months during lockdown, and then when we finally got out, I was like, Tommy, check this out, our old drummer, and that just came together within like 15 minutes. We just needed to structure it, lyrics it, and then that was it.
Yeah, song done.
Yeah.
I think it's important to like just get it out sometimes and to just let's see what happens when we play it. I think bands now are like the thing about not just jamming things out. I think lockdown, like with us, became we were writing songs in lockdown on like fucking Logic or like Bang, whatever these things I don't understand. These things you record on, right? Yeah. But we were finishing songs like that, and I think that's good. But also, I think if you jam something out in a room and you can really get to, oh no, that is a good part and what works live, because everything's different when you're playing it live.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
did that once. We did a film clip in the middle of COVID, which was highly illegal. It was our debut film clip for Love on the Rise, and there was limits of how many people you could have in a room. I think we had 15, 20 people in my house filming COVID.
No masks.
There was no mask then, but it was early.
It was makeup.
It was like June or July 2020.
Yep.
So no one really wore them back then, and the makeup ladies all had masks on because we had to put like latex on.
Yeah,
because
like
we dressed
simulate
as old seniors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like watching Bad Grandpa. But yeah, that was we didn't really write during COVID because we had only just formed.
Yeah.
So we had already had this set, but we started to release singles, and COVID really stuffed us because we just released a song, and next minute that happened.
It's also funny because during that lockdown, I think we were asked to do a Fangs TV thing.
Yeah, we did Fangs.
Yeah, that's right.
We had to come up with like a acoustic song, just like a acoustic cover, which we did. Have you ever seen The Rain? But we had Johnny with us as well for that one, and that was like during the practice for writing. Have you ever seen The Rain in acoustic? I started playing the riff for Gravity, and that was like at least 8 months before that became an actual song. And then, it's just weird hearing it now on Spotify or just playing it live. It was like, that started off as just as a nothing riff on Cas's front porch.
A couple of the songs that have come out like that, they've been accidents. Generally how the best songs are written.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
Best kids are accidents as well.
We've had a few of those accidents.
I know. So when we release this, like this is a little bit behind. This is Father's Day today, and they've just made that joke on Father's Day.
Yeah, it is Father's Day.
Love you, Dad.
Love my kids.
I love your dad too as well, Eric.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, he's a good man. He's a good man. So what's the plan going forward? Like, where are the Black Cardinals in 6 months, do you think? Without another pandemic, I'm saying.
Yeah, well, all right. So we're releasing Switch Me Off in 3 weeks from yesterday.
3 weeks, yep.
It's big launch for us. We're doing that at Highway. We chose a smaller venue this time just to put 100 people in it, keep it nice and tight, and have a big launch. Doing it with, like I said before, the kids that that came up to us at Uncaged, called Paint Job. And some of our besties, Star Crazy, we've asked them to join us as well. And then we unfortunately lost our representation now.
Oh, really?
So we're no longer
you guys were
Silverback.
Silverback.
Yep.
So Silverback's finished now, yeah.
Oh, they're finished with local acts. And
Yeah, they're still doing a lot of tributes and overseas and stuff, aren't they? Yeah.
So we're no representation at the moment, which is something that we've not been used to.
But it's exciting.
But it is exciting, and we're booking shows ourselves, and not.
So what was Silverback back in the day? What was their role?
There's always been as a touring agent. Yeah. So they were mainly doing tributes and things like that. But then he took on local acts and international acts and stuff like that. So
because I feel like they had a good group of bands as well, and artists in there, man. Like we only ever did that John Corabi show, but that was like the only one we ever played with them.
Yeah.
But because I remember like one of the first conversations I had with my guys was like, we need a booking agent, like you gotta get one. And I was watching you guys and all the other boys doing like these great shows, and I was like, we need Silverback. And then when I found out that news, I was like, it's not good, is it?
Yeah, we got that news. I got it over the phone first, and I have a bit of a history with what was his name? I already forgot our name. Danny. Sorry, Danny. If you're listening. Probably not. I had a bit of a history with him over the years with sort of R&B scene, and he took us on pretty early in our career with the Cardinals, and it was a shock, to be honest. Like we had a feeling that things weren't great, but didn't think that we'd lose our ride so quickly, and we were sort of just hitting our straps. I think we'd been put in front of we toured the Aussie May tour. Around
Uncaged.
Australia, and then we did Uncaged.
And the Nirvana tribute.
And then the Nirvana. So we started to hit our stripes with him, and we were starting to pull some bigger crowds, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So back to square one.
Yeah, because that Uncaged thing was absolutely awesome, man. The concept and everything. I think I seen you guys. I think you just got back from the Melbourne leg, or maybe I can't remember. I think we played
the Brisbane leg. We got back.
It was the Brisbane leg, wasn't it?
Brisbane, yeah.
And I remember talking to you, Eric, before the gig, and you were like, "I'm so tired."
Yeah, because that was like get to Horton Pavilion at like 9 or something, and then just like get sorted, sound check, let's go.
Well, we were on it like midday,
whatever.
Played that early,
and then we had to catch like a 5 a.m. or a 6 a.m. flight to Brisbane. The minute we landed was like maxi cab straight to Eaton Hills Hotel,
sound check,
and just do that, and then back to our hotel to our motel rooms.
That's why you're best not sleeping.
Yeah,
like I did.
Oh my god, and then,
drinking bourbon at the airport at 5:30 in the morning. Still.
And then we come back. And it's like, let's go. We had like maybe a day or two before we did the acoustic unplugged show with the Grand Union at Mosh Sticks. And during that time, we just did not have the time to like come up with an acoustic set. I didn't have an acoustic guitar at the time, so I had to rock up with my electric guitar and practice amp and just run with it.
You just did really well, though.
Thank you so much.
Very well. Cas has got that good of a voice that I'd warmed up before it, and then I heard him sing, and I went, I'm just going to warm up a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I was like, Jesus Christ, he can sing.
Are you trying to get a date or something?
I am, yeah. You're not getting a kid out of me, though, I'll tell you that.
Hey, anyone I look at gets pregnant, so just be careful.
But yeah, man, so like, I mean, to from that run into there, you were awesome. So like, how are you finding not having that safety net as Silverback now? What's it feel like?
As you said, there is some exciting parts of it. For me, it's a bit cringing because, it's a massive help having a touring agent to do the thinking for you and put you on the shows that, we generally can't just go and ring up and go.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, I've been reaching around a little bit and just not reaching around, whatever. I've been emailing a couple of different people now and just seeing what our options are and seeing if we take on another agent and manager or not, or just go on our own and keep doing what we're doing.
Is there nobody else in Sydney that's doing this, like putting together
agents?
Yeah.
There's plenty of them around. It's just who you want to be with as well.
Yeah. It's about finding a good fit as well.
Because we don't fit on all the same ones as Dead City Ruins or Crookeds or whatever. So we're all different and we all have different needs. So it is tricky. We'll get there.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's good to have someone captaining the ship as well. Like I get that.
Yeah,
but look,
It sounds like if there's someone out there who wanted to start a side hustle, that would be a good thing to put
But
together.
you've got to be good at it as
Yeah.
well. That's the
You
thing.
got to have money.
Yeah. A lot money and contacts is the big one. But I think, you know, like having someone to steer that ship, and I suppose the unfortunate thing, and I put myself in this group as well, is you guys and how many bands did they have on the roster?
They had Massive. I think they also
El Colosso.
Oh, Wicked Things for a while,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah.
Wicked Things for a while as well.
Started,
Yeah.
There was a bunch of Cassidy. What's her name? Cassidy Parrot or whatever. No,
Casti Paris.
she's on it as well. And she's still on it. So I don't know if what he's doing. So yeah, he had some at the start. Bad Moon Borden were on it as well.
Yeah, that's right. Bad Moon Vaughan.
So that they, it started pretty large and then it's just fizzled.
Yeah.
It was good to have Danny in the room with us every now and then because, it was good to have a captain of the ship because he'd come to certain rehearsals and he would be like, all right, boys, we want you to do this and this and this. And we were able to stick to that schedule.
Yeah, we put a yearly schedule.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing to have those goals.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 4 singles a year. Always, every 3 months you'd be back in the studio and then the tours and, you would be here, there and everywhere. And, that was good to have that. But it started to, Uncaged buckled that.
Oh, okay.
And I also think that a lot of the population at the time was just really COVID shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just did not know when the next lockdown is coming. And to this day, we still don't. We're living the good life at the moment. But after that second lockdown, right, after coming out of that the second lockdown just killed so many tours.
Yeah.
Like halfway through.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead and announce another festival with all these big names. Yeah, it looks really tempting, but at the same time, it's just, it's the state of the world. It's all uncertain at the moment.
We lost 2-3 shows. We lost South Australia, Perth, and there was the Melbourne one.
Yeah.
We lost 3 of them on that Aussie made tour because of COVID.
Yeah.
We ended up doing
Sydney and Brisbane.
And that was with
the
the
poor.
because Electric Mary couldn't make it, and then Dead City Ruins couldn't make it, and then Palace of the King couldn't make it. It's like the tours fizzled.
I remember, so when we were on here before, Hamish and I hit it off big time, there was we had a conversation about it, and this would have been November 21, I think it was there, and I was like, I can understand why promoters don't want to book festivals and are a bit scared to book anything at the minute because it was so uncertain at that time of what will go ahead. And it was like something to get announced, and you go, that sounds great, but will it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was plenty of tours happening. There was a lot of festivals happening that were very fruitful. It was just
What was that? What was the one Scott
Uncaged-
Morrison was that? What was that one?
It was probably another
No,
Hill
was
song.
it- was it,
His song, yeah.
Splendor was huge, and then the one that Red Hook did that was next door to where we did the one in Brisbane.
Oh, yes.
What was that? It was like where we did our show at Eaton's Hill for Uncaged.
There was a paddock.
Paddock next door. And
Yeah.
There was a massive festival. And that was the
I
night,
saw that. Yeah.
the night before. Man, that thing had thousands of people.
Yeah.
And then in Eaton's, there was 1,500.
Yeah.
You had 15 bands or 20 bands of strong Aussie legends.
Names with weight
And
behind
couldn't
them.
pull more than 1,500 people.
Did it just not get the like? Because for an outsider looking in, when the Uncaged thing was happening, it just didn't look like it got like the proper treatment with marketing and things like that.
I
Like
agree.
it,
I think it's also the fact that it's a brand new festival that just got
Yeah.
announced. When you're going against and festivals with solid history behind them, like Splendor in the Grass and all that, it's a bit difficult to market and create the hype behind it within a set amount of time, compared to a festival that's had years of history and memorabilia behind it, like Splendor in the Grass and all that.
I think I spoke to you, Eric, that night we played Marsh and Pairs about it, and I was like, the balls of him to say, all right, we're going to do this not just in one place.
Yeah.
I said, I understand like the balls that's showing, but at the same time, pick one place, master that.
Yeah,
make it the
couldn't do that
name
with a
out of
lineup,
itself.
I wish they
You know
kind
what I
of
mean?
Strong of a lineup.
I wish they kind of pitched it as like, remember the festival they used to have in Sydney years ago? I just can't Soundwave pitched it as the new Soundwave and made it look like it was going to be the new Soundwave. Then I think it would have it would have been a.
It's all good to criticize that and all, but at the end of the day, the balls, the cojones,
That's
you
massive
must
balls
have.
to do that.
to do that, like
really is to be like
big
no,
ups
not
to
just
the man.
not just one city. We're gonna, but it's it's hard to do anyway. But in COVID,
And
it's,
you know
it's
what?
even harder.
As many things that went wrong in that festival, it gave us an opportunity to play with the heroes like Wolf Mother, Killing Heidi, Super Jesus, massive fans of them in high school, and Tex Perkins and all, and what was that? You Am I?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you think the festival will continue? He'll just do the festival, not everything else.
It's dead.
Yeah.
What's
done.
Andrew Stockdale like, by the way?
Andrew
fellas?
Stockdale,
I actually had a text from him the other week because I talked to him on Messenger still.
Yeah.
We met at a couple of years back, but I spoke to him at the Uncaged and we had a chat, and I actually sent him Switch Me Off.
Oh yeah.
So he's a lovely guy. He's very, very grounded, and he's very much an introvert.
Yeah.
Like you don't, it was a good story. When we were in Festival Hall in Melbourne, there was Andrew and I were standing there and we were having a chat, and this guy just walks past, and because we were just standing in the crowd and we're watching You Am I, and this guy goes, "Oh my God," and he's pointing at Andrew like Andrew goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go again." This guy goes, "Mate, I'm the biggest fan," and he's like, "Can I have a photo?" And Andrew's like, "What, now?" Like, yeah, now. And he's very awkward. And,
Fucking watching a show,
he's
mate.
he's much an introvert, and that's what he's like.
Yeah.
But loveliest guy.
Yeah, he was during that entire show, like the Sydney and Brisbane and Melbourne shows. He was just lurking around, He'd get there pretty early and just like check out all the other bands.
That's so
And
good as well. To
at
know
the end,
that.
I think after the Wolf Mother, the last Wolf Mother show, as they closed the festival in Melbourne, it was like I've had a few beers and I just like I need to get a photo with him. And I just came up to him as he was loading out. I'm like, "Can I get a photo, man? Massive fan. I'm part of the Black Cardinals." So yeah, man. And I took the most grainy, most fucking dirty lens-filled fucking selfie ever. And then he goes ahead and like likes my Instagram, and he just like starts liking all the guitar shreds I put on my fucking Instagram account. I'm like, it feels nice to be recognized. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
No, I think that's the best. Like, you guys got a lot of recognition from doing it and being on that, and gives it a lot of like name power because you've been there, you know what I mean, and done that with those bands. So I think like, look, it's a shame to read about Silverback Ending, but at least you got some fucking good moments out of it,
100%.
We're not unhappy about that.
Nah, that's what I mean, man. Yeah, it's a shame.
Look, as much as it is, it's good to look forward to exciting things that we're doing on our own, especially the single launch coming up for Switch Me Off. Fourth single, which we recorded with Sean Carey at what was it?
Church Street
Studios. He funnily enough, he was the guitarist for Thirsty Merc.
Oh really?
Yeah. And I remember playing Thirsty Merc songs in high school as well.
and you still irritate him by playing him in the studio.
in the summertime.
Like, what? You're an asshole. This guy just starts playing Summertime, and Sean looks at me and just goes, "Oh, fuck."
Thirsty Merc, as a kid, I grew up in Dubbo, and they were like Dubbo's export.
Yeah,
So it was-
that's it.
So it was,
But yeah, we built up a really good relationship with Sean Carey. Like, he knows exactly what we want to sound like the moment we go in. Like, I remember, like, there's been no recording sessions with Sean Carey that's gone over maybe 5 or 6 hours. It's just been in, out, done. And next thing you know, we're listening to the desk mix and we're like, that's it.
Wow.
Doesn't take much with him. He's him and I have been friends long. He was recording my Cigars band, and he knows the sound that we want. And Eric's right. We go in and we do it, and we're probably out of there within 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's the whole song done. So it's pretty refreshing, really.
It's good that you can work so effectively with them as well. It's
cheaper.
Yeah.
Just when you pay for yourself.
Yeah, like now that Switch Me Off is done, we're just gearing up for that on the 24th of September at Highway and More with our good friends Star Crazy and Paint Job. We're selling tickets and it's been fun. Doing this whole thing ourselves, like I've learned how to do video editing and just like trying to create our own content just to like push a drive and hype behind it. So despite the fact that, we lost representation, but we're picking up a lot of our own skills on our own.
yeah.
Maybe we'll play the song after.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be
Get a little
nice?
sneak preview.
Wouldn't that be nice? You people at home watching this, pay more money for us.
And maybe you'll get a listen.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a listen.
Before you mentioned that band Paint Job, they're the same group that we were talking about before?
Yeah,
and now
they approached me at
Yeah.
Uncaged, and I came off stage and I was heavily intoxicated and let's just say other things, and I was a mess, and this kid got me at the right time. Let's just say that. Didn't he? He's like, man, we would love to do a show for you. I'm like, yeah, man, I'll hug everyone right now. You know, he's like, can we do a show? Okay, I promised him. Yeah, so I made a promise and I kept it. So
Did they message you like follow up like, hey,
yeah.
remember me?
Man, I said to him, he was there with his dad too, and I said, if you message me in 3 hours and blah blah, yeah, I said I'll give you a show, and I was high as a kite, by the way, and and then
shout out that kid's dad who was like, he's like, oh, my son's gonna go down this path, but you know what?
As long as it turns out like him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So I did get to Brisbane the next morning, and again, no sleep, and there was that
Brisbane
message.
flight, holy shit!
I was like, shit, who's this
Good
kid?
that you've honoured it.
Oh,
It's really
you
good that
have
you've honoured
to.
it.
It goes back to everything that we just said, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
No one gave us a shot, so we gave them a shot. Now they've got to pull their weight and play a show.
It's basically how our music also reflects us. It's honest.
Yeah.
And we want to be honest with the people that we work with as well. So if we say something to someone, but we're going to do something, we will 100% try and honor that.
Yeah. Switch Me Off is let's call it my confession.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dark one. It's kind of there, and it is a confession. It's me talking about a problem, and lyrically that's where it is. Musically we listened to this riff and said, let's do this, and we all played around with it, and we got it to where it is today, and it's probably our finest work as far as I'm concerned.
Oh wow!
Should we that? I feel like that's the best introduction you could give to that.
Before we do wrap up, though, is there anything else you guys want to tell people to do?
Look, if I'm going to be brutally honest, it's support local bands. Make sure you come out and give bands like us and you guys and everyone out there, a liking or don't be afraid to pay $15 to watch 3 bands. You know, that $15 goes into not only their livelihood, but it goes into making more music and getting them to be able to pay for travel and blah, blah, blah. But support local bands. I've said it for 20 years. I'll keep saying it.
And come check us out at Highway Enmore on the 24th as we launch our 4th single, Switch Me Off. Almost forgot the name there. With Paint Job, Star Crazy. And look, it's going to be a party where it's a celebration of releasing new Australian music. And I think everyone should get behind that.
And there's no free tickets, only for these guys.
Yeah, we'll take the free tickets. We'll take a freebie anywhere we can get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, the Black Cardinals, for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for everyone at home for watching. Thank you for Hamish for still allowing me to do this.